to reinforce each other, even when I wasn't switching strings at all. The seeming randomness and unpredictability of my technique had completely vanished. It was solid, reliable, and devastatingly accurate. But wait a minute. Was I really saying that Yngwie only ever switched strings after upstrokes? That couldn't be right. What about all those 3-note per string scales? There's one. This was the trilogy scale shape. It was one of the most common scale shapes in Yngwie's playing, and he used it many times throughout the video. This time, it was a song called Black Star. And from watching the video, I could see that I had gotten it totally right. The fingering looked exactly like the way I'd been playing it since high school. It was 3 notes on the E string, then 4 notes on the B string. 1, 2, 3, there's the index finger, watch the slide, 4. Then 3 notes on the G string, 3 on the D string, and 2 on the A. So again, it was 3 notes, 4 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes, and 2 notes. And this was a problem, because I knew that if you started on a downstroke and played 4 notes on a string, that would be good. But if you did the same thing and played only 3 notes, you'd be stuck. And that would be bad. So I decided to take a closer look at what the right hand was doing to see if I could spot the actual pick strokes. The video was blurry and it didn't seem likely, but I thought I would give it a shot anyway. First, there was a slide. That was clearly a downstroke. Then, as the hand came back up the neck, that looked like an upstroke. Then the left hand played 3 notes, and the right hand didn't do anything. So those were legato notes. But I already knew that, actually, because I could tell from the records that those notes weren't picked. The use of legato here was more of a special effect to give a smoother sound. Fair enough. Then on the B string, we had down, up, down, up. The last upstroke was the slide note with the index finger, which was picked so you couldn't hear that it was a slide, just like in the descending 4s pattern. So that was 4 notes on the B string, and the last note was an upstroke. So that part actually worked. Now, onto the G string. It was down, up, down. But wait a minute. The left hand pinky was already down on the new string. That can't be right. Rewind. Again, it was down, up, and then down again, but on the pinky. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Yngwie was only picking 2 notes on the G string. The 3rd note, the index finger of the left hand, was not picked at all. It was a pull-off. Not only that, but the same exact thing happened on the D string. Down, up, pull-off. And before I knew it, the ring finger was already down, and the last 2 notes of the lick were down and up on the A string. So despite appearances, the G string, the D string, and the A string were all 2 notes per string as far as the right hand was concerned. The whole lick then, from a picking standpoint, was legato, then 4 notes, then 2 notes, then 2 notes, and then 2 notes. Every string containing fast picking was an even number of notes starting on a downstroke, and therefore switch strings after an upstroke. I couldn't believe it. I'd already experimented with using a pull-off for the 3rd note, and it just didn't sound right. But I guess I just didn't do enough experimenting. When I counted them up from the B string to the A string, this lick had 12 notes, and 10 of them were picked. It wasn't surprising at all that I couldn't hear the legato. In fact, I realized that I could eliminate the legato sequence on the top string entirely by simply starting on an upstroke. This caused the picking on that string to end on an upstroke, which connected perfectly to the rest of the lick. Now the lick had 15 notes, 13 of them fully picked. But what if I went even further? 27 notes and only 3 pull-offs. Amazing. Yngwie's use of legato was not just stylish, it was strategic. It was an instinctive adaptation that used a single, unpicked note to totally transform an unplayable passage into a slashing sonic stiletto. But this also had an immediate impact on Yngwie's sound. His playing wasn't just a robotic assembly line of mechanized repetition. Each note received a unique treatment of picking or legato, muting or openness, an overall contour, the feeling that something inside there was actually thinking, moving, and alive. Things were really starting to get interesting. The Yngwie tape had provided little in the way of formal instruction, but what it offered in return, the close-up view of Yngwie's actual technique, was so much better. There was a lot more here than met the eye, and I could only imagine what else lay ahead.